Hi everyone, thank you for joining me on Create with Chris. If you've ever struggled to get a perfect circle or oval in your artwork, like for eyeglasses, frames, borders, or decorative accents, I think you're going to absolutely love this video. It's going to be a short one, but I know it's one you're not going to want to miss. I know you're going to love this as much as I do, so let's dive in and unlock your new favorite techniques. I think everyone is familiar with my painter's tools, and this is what I'm going to be talking about mostly today. But I want you to think outside the box as we go through this. I was working on a brand new design and I needed to create some oval glasses, and I really struggle with round shapes. My eyes have astigmatism, so it's very difficult for me to create perfect circles and ovals. Also have a problem with straight lines, so I have to use a lot of tools to make myself look good, and a lot of times it's always these little details that can make such a big difference on the overall outcome of a project. So as I was struggling with trying to figure out how to create the perfect shape, I was wishing that I could use these templates somehow to create the line work. Using a paintbrush with these templates just doesn't make sense. So let me show you what I did, and I just put these here because the templates kind of disappear on the background. For example, I wanted to create oval eyeglasses, and I thought, gosh, these shapes are absolutely perfect. So I grabbed this is a .01 micron pen, and I thought if I could just trace around the outer edge. And you have to be careful because this is ink, and so you don't want to slide it. But I could create this little outline of eyeglasses and then kind of create that nose piece. My thought process, once this dries, once the ink is completely dry, it becomes permanent. When using the pens, they're made out of India ink. There is water in there to transport the ink, and once it dries, then it becomes permanent. And I know a lot of you don't like using micron pens because once you put the pen work on there, it's on there. It won't erase, it won't lift up. So I was playing around. I thought this was a little bit thin for that size of an eyeglass. So I thought, well, maybe I could bump it up to an 05. And you can see the difference in the thickness of the glasses. And you do have to take your time going around. I'm just going to go around 2 times. Oops. And I went a little fast and I made a jag. Don't do that. Hold that pen perpendicular and just slide it around. And I was going to go around twice. You can definitely see the difference in the thickness of that line. But look at this. The eyeglasses are perfect. So what if you want a different color? I got to thinking about that as well. So if I want to use, I want red glasses, and this is Prismacolor red colored pencil. I think everybody has colored pencils. These are really good with paint. They work really well. If you don't like them, you can sort of kind of erase it, but you can't make it completely go away. But it's easy to paint over if you don't like the way it looks. Now you have to remember the sharpness of the point and the amount of pressure that you apply will make a difference. These are just a little bit smaller, so I probably should have bumped them together a little bit. But if I want a fatter lens, I'm just going to bump up to the next size. And I'm going to go around. You guys, this was a real game changer for me because I thought, oh boy, this is going to make me look really good. This is the one thing I struggle with the most. Look at that. These glasses are absolutely perfect. So I got to thinking about other ways that I could use them. You're all familiar with a white uniball pen. This is an old design. I really struggle with the circle on this, and I thought, gosh, I could have just put this on there and went around with my white uniball pen. How easy would that have been? I know I did that probably about 4 times before I was finally satisfied with how round it was. On this one, because I was a scaredy pants, I didn't put any lines around the berries, but I always really like this design. I think it's a fun design, but I think how much better this would look if the little berries were outlined, because everything is outlined. So I'm going to get brave and go around these berries. Now what I want to do, this, I hope you can see this really well. This circle is the one that I stenciled the original berry with on here. But I want my outline to be on the outside. If I put it on now, because if I can explain this correctly, the tip or the nib of the pen has some thickness to it, so it's going to set or glide around the inside of the stencil, which is going to bump it in just a little bit. So if I bump it up to the next size hole, I'm going to add that right here on this one. This is an 01. And I think this is too small, and you'll see why. Okay, so I did it with the 01, and you can see there's a distance between the line and the berry. But if I bump it up to a 0.05, which is a wider nib on the pen, I'm going to go up here just a little bit. I'll let that dry. And it doesn't take long for it to dry. Let's just go up to this next size. I'm just going to go around. I don't know if I have a 0.08. I'm going to try it with the Pen. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to go back over this one. I'm telling you, that looks so much better having just that little bit of a line around the berry. So if you are ever wanting to outline something very easily, look at that. Game changer. Absolute game changer. I know when I did, this is an older piece, look at these glasses. I don't know if you can notice, but this one and this one are not the same size. After you put these in with pencil, and I did an ornament and I put glasses on, after I did it with the pencil, I went back and added highlights on the pencil, and it just came out fantastic. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. This makes you a fearless painter. And I know whenever I run across something that I struggle with, absolutely, there's got to be a better way. And I was thinking about if you ever want to outline hearts, if you ever want to squares, we have all the different shapes in my painter's tools. I use these every time I paint, and the more I use them, the more different ways I find that they are just such an asset to painting. Look at that, I did all those berries just that quick. So I used the smaller template to stencil them, and then I used the next step up to outline them. I think once you see how easy this is to, these templates are to use, and the versatility and the results that they create, I think it will open many, many doors. So that's it for today. This is just a short one. I wanted to share this technique because it is so awesome. All you need are some black pens. Make sure the pens are permanent if you're planning to paint over top of them. If you've not used the white uniball pen, it's probably the very best, most opaque white pen that you can use, but it will reactivate with moisture. So you need to spray seal over top of this to make sure that you lock it in place. So I hope this gives you some new ideas on taking your artwork just a little bit further and maybe becoming a little more brave as you try some of these techniques out. And that's it, super simple, right? I hope this trick helps you out as much as it's helped me just to create cleaner, more professional looking shapes. If you've ever used something unexpected in your painting process, let me know in the comments. I love hearing your creative ideas. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a like, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. I've listed links below for everything I used in this video, so feel free to check them out. Thank you again for joining me today, and I look forward to our next painting adventure together.